Hello, my lovely friends, and welcome back to the Classy Kiwi Show. Today, I'm going to be going over this really cool kind of Japanese-Chinese fusion building that can double as either a house or a temple depending on how you like to use it. This build is pretty intricate. I wanted to give you guys something special for us just hitting 100 subscribers. Thank you all so much. So I will try and go slowly through all the different pieces of it, but I will also include a world download for the Java edition in the description, just so you can go and double check that if you're having some issues with it. With that said, let us drop our big shaders and get straight into this build. So the first thing you'll probably notice about this build is that it's just absolutely saturated with colors. I use a lot of different blocks. You can choose to switch some of these out if you like, but for the blocks that I'm using, I will have a materials list in the description. So moving over, we're going to look at the base for this, and I'll show you pictures because these corners can be a bit hard, but just lay out the base as I have done right here. So the blocks that I'm using here are going to be red concrete around the bottom square and some black terracotta along these corner angled pieces. And you can really sub these out for any other red or black brown blocks if you like, but these are my favorites from what I tested around with. So now we are going to start expanding up our pillars. So starting with the black terracotta, we're going to bring it up 10 blocks. So we're going to bring the black terracotta 10 blocks off of the ground. So then moving from here, we'll just put it on all of those little black terracotta spots that we marked out on the corners. After the black terracotta, we can start bringing up the red concrete. So this red concrete is going to come up 11 blocks off the ground. That is just one block higher than we brought up the black terracotta. There is a reason for this. So again, bring up this red concrete one block farther up to make 11 blocks off of the ground. So from here, we can just expand it all the way through over that outline. And remember that the corners are punched out here, so there are no corners. This is important for our detailing that we will soon do. So then from here, we are going to start adding in some pillars with yellow terracotta. So these are going to be one block in from where the red starts, and on the back side here, that'll be directly behind the black terracotta pillar. You're going to put these all the way across, spaced 2 apart. So again, just one block in from where the red wall starts, and then spaced 2 apart, you're going to put up these yellow terracotta pillars up to the top of the red wall. Again, bringing it in on the side, 1 block away from the start of the red wall, this will be just 1 block to the right of the black terracotta pillar. You're going to bring these up all the way to the top, spaced 2 apart, but you're only going to do 2 on the edges on these sides. So then moving over to the front, it will be exactly the same as the back. The only difference is you're only going to do 4 pillars on each edge, leaving room for an entrance in the middle. So 4 pillars of yellow terracotta going all the way up on the edges, spaced 2 apart, and remember there will be 1 block of red terracotta, red concrete before you build up these pillars. Then again, just mirroring the side. Now we're going to start framing our black terracotta pillars. I'm going to do this with Acacia Stairs, just an upside down, then a regular stair, kind of stacked on top of each other. So it's this pretty simple design, and then mirror the same thing up on the top. I also put some slabs on top of the pillars just to cap them off. So then we will do that on each of the sides, again just framing each of these pillars with our Acacia Stairs, a regular stair, then upside down stair, and then some slabs on top. So starting on decorating the walls, we're going to build up. So with some birch planks and slabs. So for these, you're just going to have to take it slow and watch it. I'm really just bringing it up 2 full blocks, then a slab, then in these little corner areas, another 3rd block up, but the rest just 2.5 blocks. Take this slow, watch it over a couple times, and try and repeat this pattern. You're just going to have to look at what I'm doing and try and repeat it. If you don't get it exactly the same, that is not an issue. Just try and end it in the same place that I am. It's basically just slowly coming down. But at the very end, we're going to curl it up as I'm doing here using stairs. Again, just watch over this a couple times. This is a slightly difficult pattern, but once you have it, we're going to use it quite a few times throughout the build. Then you can just push back what you've built with this trim back into the wall with the remaining space. On the other side, I'm going to go slightly faster, but we're going to mirror the exact same thing, just on this other side. Of course, this will be moving to the left instead of to the right, so everything will be backwards, but you can just repeat the same thing that you did before. Again, curling it up at the end, might have to take a couple tries to get this right, but it should look like this kind of curled up, almost question mark look. Then you can push it back. From here, we're going to actually reverse the same thing upside down. So again, we're doing the same thing. Look it over a couple times, look at what you've already built, and just try and mirror it again from the top. So this is all the same, and if you notice as we come up over the top here, it is still flat. That would be the ground if we're building it right side up, but this is upside down. So then just keep moving it backwards like this. Again, you are just repeating the exact same thing that you repeated down the bottom, just upside down. Watch over this a couple times, try and get it. This will be kind of hard, and that's one of the difficulties with doing something more detailed like this, but the reward is so great, it looks so good after you've completed it. Moving over, again, I'll go a bit faster. We're doing the same thing upside down on the other side, just using our birch planks, slabs, and our birch stairs. And this is kind of what gives this build a lot of taste, is just these little bits and pieces that are curling all around it, using the different woods and a lot of depth to it. So if you can get this, it will really add onto what you're building, even if you're not using it on this build. Again, then on the top, we're going to curl it up a bit. This is optional, it's just a bit of extra touch to it. You can just curl it like I'm doing here across the top with a couple stairs. Doesn't really matter where you put them, just adding some more roundness to it in general. From here, we are going to start with an entrance. So we're going to put down some stairs in the middle area, and then just some planks for us to stand on. And then moving up, we're going to use some dark oak slabs. You will have to look at where I am and just try and put this where I've put it, and it will come even with the bottom of a stair right there. And so we'll start with the bottom slab, and then just pushed out like I have. From here, you can rip out the red concrete underneath that little dark oak ceiling area, and then replace the bottom with some birch slabs. We can then build up with some birch stairs just along the yellow terracotta pillar that we put up. And on the top, you'll look over this a couple times, but you'll just try and repeat this pattern that I'm doing here along the top just to give some extra taste to it. It doesn't completely matter if you get this block for block. All I'm really doing is putting in some interesting patterns with stairs. Look over it a couple times, see what you can do in your own entrance. Then we can just fill in the spaces in our gaps there with some red concrete. Now we're just going to put on a bit of extra trim with some acacia slabs. This is again optional, just something else to give it a bit of flair. Really with these styles of builds, if you build it out more with a lot of depth and flair with your different wood products and stuff, it'll end up making it look a lot better. So that's all we're doing here, just putting out some acacia slabs that kind of twirl outwards. And so from here, all we have left is adding in some windows. We're going to put these in the middle, 4 high, 2 wide, just putting them in between a couple pillars where we have the space. And just like that, we have completed our first face, completely textured as we like it. So now moving on to the back, I'm going to time lapse it. We're going to start exactly the same as we did. We're going to build up the exact same birch trim. So just do this exactly the same. I'm going through it fast, I know, but it is exactly the same as we did last time. Also the same acacia trim. Just repeat this like you did. Look back on what you've already built or look back on the video that you just saw for the previous part and just copy it exactly the same for all of this birch trim and acacia trim moving out. The spacing is completely the same, and that is all important that you just keep it exactly the same as you built it on the other side. So now we'll actually build in the exact same dark oak roof in the same space, but this is where it starts to differ. Just 2 blocks down in that center area, we're going to put in some more concrete coming out even with the pillars. Then along the bottom, we're going to put down some birch stairs in between the 2 pillars and also put down those birch stairs on the top, kind of framing this middle area. Instead of an entrance here, I'm going to go through this really slowly. We're going to do this cool circular design that I came up with. Just again, adding in more texture. This is again optional, but if you add in a lot of these little things, even if they don't look completely awesome on their own, they'll end up looking really great altogether. So just watch through this a couple times. All it is some stairs and a couple slabs to make this pattern. So then from here, all we're going to do is knock in a couple windows. These are the same size windows, but I put them slightly offset. They're on the two different areas that you have room to put them in versus the front side. Now moving on to the side, we're going to start by just putting down some Acacia stairs. In the middle, I like to put down the Acacia stairs alternating upside down, right side up. I just think it looks really cool, just adding some more depth and feel to the build. So then from here, we're going to put in some windows and some birch stairs. Just copy this design that I'm doing here. Again, look through it a couple times. They're really just birch stairs alternating though. And in the middle, you can kind of get this cool plus look, which adds nicely to it. Again, just doing the exact same thing on the other side, going slowly through so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And then moving into the middle, we're going to punch out a circle. Look over this a couple times, but it is just 3 blocks on each side for the circle, and then just a 1 block corner moving through. I'm going to fill in this circle with white stained glass. And then I'm going to frame it with some upside down and right side up birch stairs, and just along the bottom and top, I'm going to put in some dark oak gates. Look at it for a second, then we're going to move on to the other side, which is exactly the same as in design as the first side. So we're just going to time lapse through this. Again, we're just copying the exact same thing that we just did onto this side. Again, the circle, white stained glass. You can use other colors of glass. I like the way that white stained glass usually looks in my build. Now to finish off, we're going to put in some red concrete, moving out just the very top layer of red concrete out 1 block like I'm doing here. So the entire top square is going to become 1 block wider. And on this front side, I did push it out 2 blocks below. This is the only place where I do that. Again, optional, just moving through. Moving up this entire outer square of red concrete out even with the yellow terracotta pillars that we already put in. This may obstruct some of the acacia, you'll just have to tear it out, but that's not an issue. It should just be 1 slab they have to tear out, and if you push some birch back like I have right here, you will have to replace it. But aside from that, this is not too bad. We are just putting in this red concrete. And just like that, we are finished with our bottom area and ready to move on. So from here, we're going to start out on the roof. This is probably the most intricate roof I've done on my channel so far, but I took a long while to see kind of the best way that I think I can teach you, and I think I've struck a good way. I'm going to meticulously go through each piece. If you take it slowly, it all should work out. So we're going to start by outlining the entire edge of this with alternating dark oak and birch planks. The important part here is that you get each corner with dark oak. Each corner has to be dark oak, remember that, because we're going to build out this pattern that I'm showing here. Where you bring it out, 1 dark oak plank, then 2 dark oak slabs, then 1 more dark oak plank. Again, moving out 1 dark oak plank, 2 slabs, 1 plank, just moving out like this. It looks like 3 full planks offset from each other by a half block. Just moving out, as I've shown you here, look back if you need to, but it's going to move through the entire thing. And again, you need to make sure that in this pattern, each corner is dark oak, because coming out from each side of the corner, each time here we're going to put dark oak next to each other to form a 90-degree angle. From here, we're going to put in a little birch piece that looks the same, but it's kind of pushed inward. So just starting off of the piece that we put when we first outlined the roof, we're going to put 2 slabs and then 1 block up. Again, this kind of looks like the same pattern, but it's pushed in. If you just look at it, it should all look the same moving across. So we're going to put this all the way in and all the way around. Sorry if my voice is kind of hoarse doing this. This is my 3rd time recording a 20-minute segment. So an hour of recording, and I'm pretty kind of out of voice, but I can still keep on going and showing you guys this. So moving forward, we're pushing this entire thing outwards, and from here, we're going to put in the corners some extra little birch pieces. So this is going to come down, 1 at the bottom, then just 2 above it to kind of create this box. Not too complicated, and we're going to do it once on each corner. From here, we're going to frame the entire roof with some acacia slabs. So these are just going to come out over the dark oak, creating a giant rectangle over the entire thing. Again, we're just putting this out around the entire thing over the dark oak. Not too complicated, not too bad. And then from here, we're going to bend up each corner, just putting down 2 slabs on the bottom, then 2 slabs above it, then 2 slabs on top of each other right in the center. This, again, seems like a pretty small thing. We're going to do it on all 4 corners, but when you add in a lot of little small things like this, it makes a big difference. So from here, we're going to add in some red concrete. This is going to be set in 1 block away from the acacia, so 1 block in between the red concrete and the acacia, and then from the dark oak, it's going to come up 4 blocks. The reason I say from the dark oak is when you put it on top of the birch slabs there, it will only come up 3 blocks from the birch slabs because of the way that they are. You set them on top, but you'll kind of see here on the inside, from the very bottommost point where you put them, they're going to come up 4 blocks up from there. So then from here, we're going to put down some wool. You don't need to use wool, any marker block, but you're going to find the very center and you're going to move it up 3 blocks, then out 3 blocks from the very center, from on top of the acacia. Because the acacias are bottom slabs, it will float a bit, but just copy this pattern, up 3, out 3, from the very center. On top of this, we're going to put down 7 acacia slabs. So 7 acacia slabs, then you can get rid of your little marker blocks. And then from here, we're going to move left, and we're going to move up half a block, and then put down 4 acacia slabs. Hopefully you can see where we're going. After the 4, we're going to come up half a block, and then do 3 acacia slabs. I'm going to go through this slowly because it's complicated. You can look over it a few times, but we're just going to keep moving forward. Then we're going to do another 3 acacia slabs up half a block. Then we're going to do 2 acacia slabs, and then after that, we're going to come up 4 times with a single slab, so coming up 4 times with just 1 slab wide, and then at the very top, we're going to put down a full block. This will actually be 2 slabs because of the way that it's set, but it will look like a full block. Then we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Again, this is 7 blocks in the center, wide, 4 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks, 2 blocks, 1 block, 1 block, 1 block, then a full block up. We're then going to repeat the exact same process on the other side with our marker blocks, finding the dead center and building it from there. I'm going to time lapse this because this tutorial is already long enough. And then from here, we're going to move on to the sides. From the sides, find the dead center, do the same thing starting from on top of the acacia, build up 3, out 3 with your marker blocks. And then this time, because the sides are shorter than the front, on top of your marker blocks, build it out 3 blocks. So just at the very middle, we're going to put down 3 acacia slabs. Then we are going to come up half a block and put down 3 more acacia slabs from there. And then we are going to put down 2 acacia slabs. And we're going to come up with 2 acacia slabs 3 times. So there's 1. And then here is the second right here. And then here's the third moving up. Again, I'm going very slowly so you can see exactly what I'm doing because this part is integral. Watch through it as many times as you need to. Then from here, we're just going to bring it up 1 block 4 times just to come up and meet with the other side. Then we'll repeat the exact same thing on the other side. This is coming up again 3 blocks in the center, then up half a block 3, then 2, 2, 2, then just single up to meet the side. I'll time lapse this side. We're then just mirroring the other side that we just built in. Watch the slow part again if you need to remember how you did it. From here, we're going to outline the very middle with birch. So we are going to put down a birch even and then 1 birch slab under. So on the inside of this acacia ring, you're going to put down a birch slab even and under. So 2 birch slabs, 1 even, 1 under, moving all the way around. So you should have just half a block of birch visible from the outside if you're doing this right, because there'll be 1 birch that's even with the top of the acacia, then 1 that sits just under, all the way around. And what we're going to start doing here is framing this very top roof piece down to the building itself. So from here, you're going to put down some upside down stairs. This is very important that you put down not 1 in the dead center, but 2 around the center with a gap on the dead center. So in the center, 7 blocks on the front, there should be 4 sets of stairs, and this will be an upside down stair, then a second upside down stair. Because you're putting them down on slabs, every once in a while they will float. Just put down another birch slab to connect it when it does that. Then you're just going to put them down every other moving upwards. Once you reach a corner, you're going to leave 2 different slabs through here, space for 2 of them, and then, as you see I'm doing right here, and then in the corner, you're going to put down 2 full blocks, and then just a little piece on the very edge as I just did here. From here, all we're going to do is continue the same pattern, moving down with 2 upside down stairs on every other block all the way through. On the sides, you will put one on the dead center, and that's because the sides are slightly different lengths than the front. So the front, again, it's very important for your spacing so that on the corners, you're able to put in this piece. That in the very front, you do not have one of these little teeth on the dead center, but there's 2 around the dead center. Moving here, I'll go kind of more quickly. We're just repeating the exact same pattern all the way around, just putting it on every other from our starting point on the front. And so what we're really doing here is framing this top roof, because from here, we're going to put in some different spruce pieces. This is the only time we'll use spruce wood on this build. You don't have to, but all we're doing here is putting in spruce wood and sometimes a spruce plank just all the way along here in these kind of top gaps. So just on the very top gap that you can find, just put down a block, and if a block doesn't fit, put a slab and then a block. This you do not have to do as exact because this is just a bit of a touch, kind of a trim around the whole thing, but just try and do it in general as I have and I'm showing right here as we kind of move faster through it. And then what you can do to kind of round it off, this is optional, but if you look on the front, what you can do is kind of make it more round by putting down some slabs between 2 kind of full blocks of each other. I'm just putting down some extra slabs to kind of make these spruce framing more round in its feel. Generally, roundness in this build style is a very good idea. From here, we're going to start putting in some dark oak. So this dark oak, we're going to put in dark oak planks, just 1 block under these birch stairs that we've put in. So all the way around, and this is going to be flat against the red concrete wall. So again, just right up against the red concrete wall, put in these dark oak plank framing just right under these teeth, these birch stair teeth, as I'm going to call them, just moving all the way around, just putting 1 under. And I'll go through this kind of slowly so you can see what I'm doing. But essentially what we're going to do after this is fill in the remaining space above the dark oak with more dark oak so that you kind of have this, it kind of dips on each level, but just another layer to this. Theoretically, if you wanted to, you could just skip this and have it press right up against red concrete, but I really like the way that it looks when you put in these extra dark oak pieces. It just looks very nice. So then from here, you'll see I'm going to start filling them in. Just any space that you have above the dark oak frame, you're just going to put another dark oak plank or slab on top of each other. I'll go slowly at first so you can see and then speed up as we go through. And really, if you look at what we've done, we've just created a few layers moving in. And that's what makes this build itself really unique from other stuff that I have done on this channel. Because this build has a lot of layers and depth and just a lot of variety in the textures that we're using with it. And it's kind of hard to do in tutorial style, but I did want to try something different. Let me know if you guys like it. If you made it this far, thank you so much. So from here, we're just going to put in some extra dark oak slabs along the base if you like. This is just rounding the whole thing off. Again, optional, but it does make it rounder if you put in some extra slabs through it. It can make it look a bit nicer. So from here, we are going to start on our actual roof with dark prismarine. We're just going to break out the slabs on this base level and put down the dark prismarine, then go up a layer, put them down for these 4, and then break the slabs here, put down 4. Watch over this a couple times to see when I break slabs. Essentially, we're just trying to add less curve to this dark prismarine roof as possible. So watch over it a couple times, see which ones I break, and repeat this pattern on the other side. So then from here, we're going to lengthen this out 1 block, and this will be flat. It doesn't come up at all, just moving out 1 block farther all along here. From there, we're going to move the entire thing up and out 1 block. So this is 1 block higher and pushed out, and then we're going to push that layer out 1 block. It gets a tiny bit complicated here, but what we're going to do is add in another layer coming up, but this time from the center is going to push 2 blocks farther out this layer. Watch over what I just did a couple times so you get it. Then move to the left and put in the next layer coming out 2 blocks farther to the left. Then bring it up, it'll come up, and then just push to the edge. So again, we kind of have 2 layers coming up 2 blocks farther, and essentially what this does is makes it so that we only have 3 different layers to work with moving upwards. From here, we're going to push out what we just did 3 blocks flat, so 3 blocks farther flat. We're going to push this out and then just build it out like that. I'll go a bit faster. As you can see, we're just repeating this out 3 blocks farther flat. So now that we have this kind of flat section, we're going to curve it up into an arch, kind of a more A-frame-like. So this is going to come up 7 blocks higher to dead center. So I'm just showing you here, we're going to frame it 7 blocks up, and that is to the dead center if you followed the other directions. From here, we're just going to keep moving that same pattern with 3 different layers up for those 7 blocks. And the only difference here is on the edge, we're going to leave 2 blocks out. So this will just come 3 blocks. And right here, you can see there are 2 blocks missing on the edge. From here, we're going to repeat that exact same thing, just moving up. 7 blocks coming up a layer from there so that it reaches dead center. So then from here, we're just going to repeat the exact same thing on the other side. This tutorial is already long enough, so I'm going to just time-lapse it. Look back to what you've already built or look back to my instructions on the last one if you're wondering how to do it. It is exactly the same. Just moving through here. From there on the very top, we're just going to put on one more layer of dark prismarine to kind of create a fin on the very top, just so the very top is 2 blocks higher. And then we're going to start on this cool little... From here, we are going to put on our dark prismarine. So our dark prismarine is going to come up and just look over what I've just done a couple times, but it should not be too much of an... Just again, moving up the dark prismarine like I have, you'll break a few planks, but just copy this down a couple times. This side isn't nearly as important as the front. If you mess it up, you just kind of got to bring it to the general direction. We're going to bring it up 1 block farther like I'm doing here. And on the edges, you can fill it out a bit. This doesn't really matter too much how you do it. Just keep it moving forward. So then from here, we're just going to keep moving our entire thing up. And then we're going to put in 1 layer, just kind of pushing out, and this will break the pattern so that it goes too high in the middle, just to flatten everything. Then 1 more layer. From here, we're going to fill in the kind of A-frame pattern that we have, just with red concrete, putting this in. It looks ugly now, but don't worry, we'll frame it so it looks good. In the very center, we'll put a little plus sign window with dark oak fences, and then along the edges, put in some yellow terracotta. From here, right on the top of the red concrete, we're going to put down birch slabs, except on the bottom 2 blocks where it will just go onto the dark prismarine. Again, just copying this, then we fill it out so that all of the birch goes even with the dark prismarine above it. From here, we're going to put down acacia slabs, 1 on top of the birch and then 1 pushed out, and then we're going to bring up all the acacia slabs so that they're even with the one above them. Again, we're just building this up even with the other ones, then just add on a little piece to the side here to frame the entire thing off. We'll do that on both sides here. So then moving to the top, we'll even it out with the dark prismarine, then move it up 2 blocks, so that I did put it down slabs, 4 slabs, but don't be fooled, that is 2 blocks up, and then 1.5 blocks right to the right of that. Then I'm going to time-lapse this again, copying the exact same thing that we did on the other side. Exactly the same, do not worry about it, just copy what you've already built or my instructions for the other side. From here, this is going to be kind of difficult, but we're going to put in these acacia fences. They're going to be 2 on the very edge. Then we're just going to put in 1 along the sides through here, and then a full block in the center. You will have to watch through what I just did a couple times so you can get it, but it's not too bad, just putting down some acacia stairs and acacia fences. From here, we're going to put down acacia slabs. Try and copy roughly the shape that I'm doing and the number of slabs, but if you don't get it to the exact, do not fret, it does not matter at all. Just try and get this general shape, kind of framing the entire roof as I'm doing here. Again, it's kind of complicated. If you get a couple slabs off, it does not matter at all. Just try and look what I'm doing and try and emulate a generally similar shape for this kind of roof area that you're putting on. So then moving to the center of this roof area, an important thing is to kind of frame it into a kind of more circular round shape. Kind of actually looks like redstone dust once you get it all together, you'll see in a second. But we're just going to keep this moving up to kind of create a split in the very center where it goes in two directions, one down, one up. And then we're just going to connect it down to the side. You'll see this kind of creates this full shape as we mush it together like I've done here. And then from here, I'm going to time lapse this side. Just copy exactly what we've done on your other side or my instructions for the other side. Just copy the exact same thing over to this side. So from here, we've actually finished the build. Thank you so much if you made it so far in this video, but I have a lot more to show you for an interior and some more stuff. So you can put in some lanterns. Then a cool trick to do on top that's completely optional because it's a ton of extra dark prismarine is to add more texture by just every other block moving it up one. You'll see I'm just doing it here quickly to demonstrate how you can do it. It doesn't take you very long. In survival, it should only take 15-20 minutes to do this entire thing, not very much. The reason I say it's optional, dark prismarine is hard to get. I understand that. I play a lot of survival. If you don't want to do this because you don't have extra, you don't have to. The roof will look just fine. And I actually don't like how it looks from above, but if you move down to the side like this, I love how it looks. So I'll just time lapse through the side, and that finishes the most of it. And I do have an interior design. I'll show you what I think you could do for the interior right now. Alright, so for the interior I have two things to show you. First is just if you want to keep this as a temple. So if you're using this as a temple, I recommend just having a first floor and keeping it pretty sparse. So what we have around here is we have some cool designs on the outside. I'll quickly walk through them. Just around the windows, here's some stairs. You can look at where they're placed as I go over them. Just a few stairs. Again, this is just the outside pattern copied onto the inside through here. Then the same stair pattern right there, outside pattern onto inside pattern here, and I'm just using a lot of pots with flowers. This is the same as that side. Here I'll keep running through. This is not something that I recommend necessarily copying block for block, just my ideas for something that you could do on the inside. And again, I'm just adding some depth to the walls because that just looks better to me. Here is a more complicated design, but you'll actually notice we're repeating a design from outside with these two stairs and then a block next to them, creating that kind of question mark shape. I'll back up so you can see that again. We're walking through here. All this is I've framed the top of each window like so, and then put some blocks in between them just to connect. Then this fun little shape in the middle. And along here, again, just try and make some cool shapes with slab stairs and such on your walls if you can, and then put in some flowers is my best advice for this. Moving around, it's the same on this side as the other side. Then for lighting, it's going to be dark because it's pretty big, so sea lanterns and brown carpet's how I went. Then in the middle, I did kind of a gong, which I thought looked pretty cool. Using smooth sandstone, just blocks in a circle, and then some stairs. And then inside again, this is pushed out. Then just some stairs framing it, optional, but I thought it looked alright. You could get rid of those if you like. And the one thing to note with this is that I like the gong this size where it's a circle with two on each side, bottom and side. The only issue then is it doesn't actually line up with the house, which has a 1 block center. So if you wanted, you could lengthen each side to 3 and make it bigger. Not what I went for though. And then I just put some stone buns around it and covered it like this. But this is not functional as a living space if you were wanting to live in it. So over here, I'll show you what you could do if you wanted to do a living space. And so this has essentially the same bottom except for without the gong, just because I liked how this bottom looked as kind of a sparse, empty kind of it just looks nice to me. And then moving up from here, I have a little staircase just coming up. And then all I did was partitioned off the very top and then added in a whole bunch of just all the supplies you need to live. So it doesn't look necessarily too pretty, but functionally, if you're making this house, you're pretty late game, so you're gonna want some of these more bulk stuff. So quite a lot of storage, smelting area, just using these kind of half walls to partition things off with our 2 different kinds of trapdoors. And then just over here, just an enchanting setup and sleeping. Again, not too complicated. I just made the walls with snow and then stripped oak logs with some stairs up in the top and the bottom. And we actually have a lot of space in here. Sorry. There is even a bit more space up in the top. Let me see if I can get up there. If you were to want to kind of add an attic area as well, we still do have even more space. However, I don't like building stuff in these areas, so I didn't. I do in kind of more medieval cramped stuff when you can kind of make old-fashioned, but for this style of build, just keeping it simple, kind of an upper attic living space, and then a nice little bright bottom area for you to hang out in. Anyway, yeah, I hope that these interior ideas helped you out a bit. Thank you all so much for watching this video. It really does mean a lot. I put a lot of effort into these and try and make them as easy to follow and accessible to you as possible. If you have any tips for how I can improve my building, my teaching style, or my video making, please let me know in the comments. All the constructive criticism really does help me. With that said, again, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like my building. And, as always, stay classy, my friends. See ya!